that you need to be able to track that very importantly in your own list. So once somebody's got back to you with that, then you can check it off, you can tick it, yes, it's done, finished, gone, out the way. And you've leveraged your time here because you've delegated it to somebody else. Next thing is, no, if it doesn't take less than 2 minutes, you can defer it. So you'll do it at a later stage, a later time, when you're not in your kind of processing and organizing mode. So if you defer it, you put it onto a next action list, and then we use something called contexts, which I'll talk about more in detail in another video. But we'll put it into a context where if I'm in my office, then I can do that item. If I'm in town, then I can buy a certain item. If I am ready to make phone calls, then I look in my phone calls context and I see all the phone calls that I can make very, very quickly. Defer it to a calendar to do at a specific time, and I can schedule that in my calendar, and I will do it at a specific time. So it may be a doctor's appointment, it may be a follow-up call, it may be something that I have to do at an exact time, so it needs to then go into my calendar. So we come back up the diagram, back up the workflow. So yes, the item's actionable, but this action is actually going to take more than one step to finish, to complete, to get it done. So what is the next action? So we've asked that question, we've come down here, we've completed this, but this time the action is going to take more than one action to complete. So it's basically going to be a project. And you may be used to, just as I was, you'd think a project is something huge, something with lots of things to do. It may take a week, it may take a month, it may take 6 months, it may take a year. That's kind of the general definition of what a lot of people class a project as. But what we class a project as is anything that needs more than one step, one action step to actually complete. So something that's going to take you 2 steps, 2 or 3 steps, is going to be a project. It's kind of a mini project, but it's still classed as a project. So we put this, and we need to plan a project from that. And again, that is a completely separate video, a completely separate topic, but we now put it into a project and we list what our next action is. So we would then brainstorm, we would use mind mapping software, we would write things down, I would put it into my trusted system, into my tools where I can reference my project plans in the future, and then I'll review that for action. So I'll go through my project plans and I'll take out key milestones or key results, and I'll transfer that to my to-do planner, which is in my project. And then under each of those key results, I will take the next physical action that I can do. Now, an example of the next physical action, let's say you had to phone John, who had your car in the garage. So John's the guy at the garage. You need to phone John to get your car booked in. Okay, so you'd think, okay, well, the next physical action is phone John. Great. So you pick up the phone, you go, I don't have the phone number of John. So actually the next physical action would be find phone number of John, and then the next action would be call John. So you would, if you needed to go online, it would be go to Google, find phone number for John. So you'd do that, you'd make a note of it, and the second action would be to actually call John. Now that's a great example of something that would probably take less than 2 minutes to do. So you'd go into Google, you'd type in the name of the garage, you'd find it, then you'd put it onto your phone calls list, which is something you would do later. So we've defined the next action, we've worked out it's going to take longer than 2 steps. It's now a project, whether it's a mini project or a large project. We've put it into our system, we have our project plans, and we've then reviewed our project plans for the actions that we need to take, and we have decided what is the next action we need to take, the next physical action, and then the workflow starts again. So yes, you can do it in less than 2 minutes, so you do it, or you delegate it, defer it. And a lot of my projects tend to be deferred until later. And I do my weekly plan, I do my weekly my weekly review, I do my weekly plan, I have my goals, and I kind of work that way. But this is basically the workflow, the first stage of how I operate in my business, in my life. And it's something that takes time to do, but you get better at it. It's little bits at little bits of time, and each of these things makes you so much more productive. It allows you to get so many more things done in your life and in your business, and it allows you to focus on the things that are right for you and not be distracted by all this other stuff that's going on. So basically, you're making sense of the most important things, that everything that comes to you, you're making sense, you're putting it into your basket, and then you're going through this process, these questions, to ultimately define your next actions and plan out your projects in advance, so you get more done, you're more effective, you can spend more time, more quality time with your family, with your partner, with the people you love, rather than trying to do work that you think you're doing but you're not really achieving anything. So getting this down, understanding this model, it takes time. It's like mastery. I committed to mastery a long time ago. If I'm going to master something, if I'm going to be successful, if I'm going to have a multi-million-pound or multi-million-dollar business, then what I said to myself was, I need to master certain skills. And we'll talk about mastery more in detail later. So if you have any questions regarding this workflow, leave a comment under the video, leave a comment under the blog post, leave a comment wherever you find this video. Ask me the question, come over to doubleYourOnlineProductivity.com or over to GavinMountford.com. You can submit your 30-minute business assessment or feedback, and we can speak on the phone. I'll talk you through this. I'll tell you what to do next, or I'll give you advice or question or consult or coach with you to help you understand this and the whole productivity model. Because there's a lot to it, but it is so important to make sure you're doing the right things at the right time. So this is Gavin Mountford from GavinMountford.com and doubleYourOnlineProductivity.com. Feel free to share this video with anybody else that may be struggling with this kind of thing and needs some kind of assistance to make it all work and to get more done. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.